Well, welcome back. American manufacturers highlighting a new wave of investment into America, pointing to the One Big Beautiful Bill as a key driver of growth and of that investment. The National Association of Manufacturers releasing a new collection of success stories showing companies are using H.R. 1 tax provisions to expand facilities, invest in equipment, create jobs, and strengthen local economies. The president has made revitalizing America's manufacturing a central priority on his agenda, saying that years of offshoring and trade imbalances cost American workers their jobs, and it is a national security risk. The president spoke at General Motors in Michigan this week. Watch.
The United States had the highest trade deficit ever recorded. So we had the worst trade deficit, and our country was losing more than $1 trillion a year on trade every single year, and it got worse and worse. Outside countries and companies were coming in and just robbing us blind, and it was causing tremendous problems for your jobs. But now all of that is changing because I placed historic tariffs on foreign producers and manufacturers. For decades, we were told that it was totally impossible to bring back American manufacturing. It turned out that all you really needed to get them back was a new president, somebody that understood business, understood what it was all about.
Joining me now is the National Association of Manufacturers President and CEO, Jay Timmons. Jay, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So tell us what you are seeing from companies on the ground right now in terms of using the new tax changes that President Trump put in that big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, I tell you what, Maria, we're seeing investment decisions being made all across this country, and manufacturing is just poised to roar back. We produced a book that tells stories of 50 stories in 50 states of manufacturing success because of H.R. 1. These are just a small representation of the numerous manufacturers that are making more investments here in this country, purchasing more equipment, hiring more people, raising wages. We're here at the National Association of Manufacturers Conference of State Manufacturing Associations and our Council of Manufacturing Associations meeting in Colorado. And the individuals who are here represent over 200,000 businesses across this country who are benefiting from H.R. 1.
Yeah, tell us about the impact there, because what you're seeing is people are writing off equipment, and they are trying to use those tax code changes to actually invest more right now. So specifically, what kind of an impact are those policies having on business? Because we're seeing it in the first quarter earnings, and we're seeing it again in the second quarter earnings as well.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that's what this book is all about. So Chairman Jason Smith of the House Ways and Means Committee said to us, hey, we need to hear what's really happening on the ground because people aren't learning about the benefits of H.R. 1. And we said, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we'll get those stories together. And that's what this book is all about. Folks can see these stories on our website at nam.org. And we worked with Chairman Smith. We worked with Senator Crapo, the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, to make sure that Americans understood the benefits. If you go to this book, you can find, for instance, in California, you all did a story about Robinson Helicopter and the immediate R&D expensing that has enabled them to grow their business. Winton Machines down in Georgia, it's poised to have the most successful year in its entire history because they've been able to invest in not only equipment, but people to expand their operations. Well, so you're seeing this optimism all across the country.
It's so critical because it's not just the investment that's happening, but these are national security issues. If we cannot make our own components and the things that are so important to this economy, you're talking about this meeting of American manufacturers leaders gathering in Colorado right now. What are they saying? The industry is looking to build on recent growth, tackling the biggest challenges, and your focus is on workforce needs, energy demand, supply chains, and the future of U.S. manufacturing. When you consider the fact that we've seen so many semiconductor companies come and say, I'm going to build it in America, that is a huge thing. Same with drug manufacturers. The healthcare sector is so important because before this, we were reliant on China, mostly for the underlying components of our prescription drugs. So what are you hearing from those business leaders in Colorado this week about that?
Yeah, so you're exactly right about that, Maria. And to your point, all we have to do is look at the pandemic and see where we were in a pretty bad crisis. We didn't have access to many of those medical supplies. And during the first Trump administration, when H.R. 1 passed, it really incentivized, and the president called it at our board meeting, rocket fuel for the American economy. And indeed it was. We had record growth for 3 years following the passage of that bill in terms of investment, job creation, wage growth. And if that bill had not been reenacted last year, 6 million jobs in this country would have been at risk, and the economy would have had a $1 trillion hit to it. So H.R. 1 has really supercharged manufacturers' ability to invest and hire and grow wages. And if we get these other policies right, to your point, we're going to be able to continue this growth. We do have 500,000 jobs open in the sector. You and I have talked about that before. And we're working very hard to attract more people into our industry because the demand is growing. In order to sell more products around the world, we have to have the right policies in place. We have to have the right workforce in place.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I always say that in addition to this moment in time where we're seeing all of this new innovation as a result of AI, you also have an administration in place that is actually buying into it, investing into it. And that's very important because this president also wants to be number one in AI. When you've got those two factors, you've got the business sector coming up with new innovations and pushing AI through, but you've also got an administration, the president, who actually wants to see growth, who's actually buying into this, who's saying, let's take a shot, let's do this. That is also a huge progress for business as well. I mean, the factory floor has changed, right? As it embraces AI and manufacturers turn to automation and robotics. Tell us about that.
Yeah, exactly. And why is AI important? You know, there's a lot of fear factor out there about what does AI mean? Well, there was fear factor over a century ago when automation took over the shop floors. And what did that do? That enabled manufacturers to hire more people and produce more products and create a standard of living in America that is unparalleled in the history of the world. The same thing happened with the advent of personal computers, with robotics. And now you're seeing the next generation of technological advancements in AI, which will allow us to be even more productive and be, if we do this right, and the White House, I think, to your point, is focused on doing it right, we can be the leader of the world in manufacturing for decades and generations to come. And that is our goal at the National Association of Manufacturers. And it's a goal that I know that President Trump, the White House, and the Congress share for the future.
Of course. All right. We'll be watching all of that, Jay. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Jay Timmons joining us. Stay with us. Quick break. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business. We'll be right back.